Why hello there YouTube and welcome to a Who review. I am Davros and I am a Whovian, and today I am reviewing Doctor Who Spearhead from Space. So this is a 1970 serial in the aftermath of the War Games. So after the Doctor is forced to change his appearance and is exiled to Earth in the 20th century, he must recover from his regeneration as an alien invasion is slowly taking place on Earth, as living plastic dummies called the Autons come and start to invade, and yeah, like I said, the Doctor has to stop them. But along the way the Doctor discovers that he is Earthbound and can't leave Earth, and that he must adapt and even get a job. So he ends up working for UNIT. Well, he does in the end. So, let's get on to my likes and dislikes about this serial. First of all, the likes. So, I like that this was the first ever episode in colour. In 1969, Doctor Who and that, the BBC producers and that were thinking maybe it's time to call Doctor Who a day. It's had 6 great seasons. But at the time the BBC could not think of anything, so they thought, let's renew Doctor Who for another season. And then the producers thought, what can we do to keep it fresh? And I like what they did. What they did was, like I say, in the War Games, the Doctor got forced to regenerate. I should review that at some point. And then, it wasn't called regeneration though at the time. No, that wasn't until the 3rd Doctor regeneration. So, yeah, he transitioned off screen, of course, because, like I say, the BBC was planning to axe it, whatever, but we know it was the Doctor because he was wearing Troughton's clothes. And the TARDIS landed on Earth. So, yeah, what the producers thought is, let's revamp the show once again. Get another actor in like before, redo it, change it up a bit, and also, for the first time ever, put it in colour. Now, I don't know what it would have been like for the audience of 1970 that had a colour television set at the time, because it must have been mind-blowing to them. I mean, my parents didn't get a colour telly until, like, 1974, 1973. I think my dad got a colour telly. My dad said he were 10 when he got a colour TV. Yeah. Anyway, yes, and I like the cinematography in this. Now, I've actually seen this remastered in HD, because I've seen the Blu-ray cut, and I have to say it's very improved, the cinematography in this. I mean, it was alright before, but putting it in HD and making it better. So I like that, the quality of picture. I also loved Jon Pertwee in this. He put up a great first performance as the Doctor. It's like he was born for that role, almost, He adjusted and settled into his new job as the Doctor happily, the cast and crew became like his second family in this, and he loved his job. He loved his part at the start. Wasn't meant to rhyme, but towards the end he didn't, and that, but that's because of complications and stuff with the cast and crew and that, and Roger Delgado dying. But yeah, this was Jon Pertwee's debut, and he did a great performance in this, becoming his Doctor, a dashing dandy with his mane of white hair and his odd-looking face. Yeah, he was brilliant in this, and I loved his energy as well in it that he had. His smartness, how he thought things through, and his liking for gadgets and that. And I also like the scene where he got on a motor car and just drove it out away from the hospital. Same with the clothes that he took from the hospital. Gaining his signature dandy look. Of course, he did get a car in the next serial, the Silurians, which I've reviewed before, and he, got the, his own car, Bessie. But this was his first outing, and I thought Jon Pertwee was brilliant. I also like the return of Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier. He appeared in it a few times before, but it was this serial that kind of made him a regular. The 1968 serial, The Invasion, was like the prototype for Jon Pertwee's early days as the Doctor. That's what I think anyway, because it had the 2nd Doctor and UNIT working against the Cybermen and that. and then the Doctor sort of worked full-time then for him. Of course, the Brigadier was unaware about the regeneration, so it took a while to convince him round. But yeah, I loved Nicholas Courtney in this. He was brilliant. I also liked Caroline, what's her name now, who was Liz Shaw in Doctor Who. Just hold on a second. God, this is so slow. Yeah, I like the character of Liz Shaw, and she was fantastic in this. I don't know her as well as all the other Third Doctor companions. I mean, I liked. Let's see, who was she played by? Caroline John. That's it. Caroline John in who played Liz Shaw. She was like the scientific advisor for units, but the Doctor then ended up working at units, and she sort of became his assistant and that, because the Doctor had better knowledge experience and that and stuff. But yeah, Liz Shaw, maybe I should get more classic Doctor Who DVDs with her featured and watch them, because I've heard she was a good companion, probably very underappreciated, but like I say, she only, I think Caroline John only did one season of the show, and she made a cameo in the Five Doctors. Yeah, I probably should try and get to know her character a bit better. Another thing in this is I liked the Autons. Now, the Autons for me were my first Doctor Who monster, because like I said, when I saw Doctor Who when it first came back on, it was Rose and the monsters were the Autons. And this was the first ever story with the Autons, starting off as some like meteors that crash on Earth, and they're like living, breathing plastic. I like the Autons in this, look very old school, not like the Autons we saw in Rose, and they have made other returns in the revived era, such as the Pandorica Opens, when they were all Romans and Rory was one, you know, because they can do that, replicate people. Yeah, I like those Autons. My mum, I remember her telling me that when she was younger, in fact when she watched this serial, she said that my grandma, her mum, my grandma, had to like cover her eyes and walk her across the clothes shops with window dummies. I also remember John Barrowman saying something like that, so it wasn't just my mum, John Barrowman too, and probably many other kids, because the Autons were, yeah, considered very scary monsters, especially with the follow-up serial they did a year later, which, yeah, I'll do at some point, review, Terror of the Autons, but right now it's Spearheads in Space. So, yeah, I like the Autons. Now to my dislikes. I didn't really like much of the first part, how it was a bit slow, you know, because, I mean, yeah, the Doctor was regenerating, and probably because he was forced to regenerate and had his knowledge of time travel wiped away, he, you know, obviously was exhausted and drained by it. You know, so a little slow start, but soon picked up, and that. The effects, very standard and old school, not like massively complicated effects, because like I say, I think they used this whole story about this whole Earthbound story arc in Jon Pertwee's early days to save money and that on making sets and locations for distant planets. And also I think it was done in a tight budget, this serial, given that they had to have colour, given that they did it in colour too. I imagine that must have been quite dear in 1970. But yeah, that's what the producers thought. Let's bring Doctor Who down to modern day Earth in colour with a new Doctor and new everything. Revamp the show, and they did that, and it paid off. Because the budget soon got bigger and they soon started to spend again on locations and sets. But yeah, I like that story arc of Jon Pertwee's Doctor being Earthbound in the first couple of seasons in his run. It wasn't until the 10th anniversary special he got his freedom back from the Time Lords in the Five Doctors. Not the Five Doctors, the Three Doctors. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like the story arc. I've seen quite a lot of serials with Jon Pertwee. Most of the serials I have are of him working with Unit on Earth. I've got some where he's like out and about as well in time and space with Joe Grant and that. Yeah, see, out of all the Third Doctor's companions, Joe Grant is the one I knew the most. That and Sarah Jane, but I think Sarah Jane was better with the Fourth Doctor. Anyway, yes, the Doctor Who Spearhead From Space. So I've gone on a bit now. So let's just get to my ratings. So Doctor Who Spearhead From Space. Final thoughts. Jon Pertwee was great. The story was great. It was a great start for Jon Pertwee's run, and that good cinematography and that and stuff. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to give Doctor Who Spearhead From Space. You know what? This for me gets a. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. No. Scrap that. I'm giving it 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 for Doctor Who Spearheads From Space. So that has been my Who review on Doctor Who Spearheads From Space. Have you seen this serial? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All of my social media links are down below in the description, so be sure to check all that out. I have been Davros the Whovian, and until next time, run for your life.